Have you guys followed the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Joe Rogan like Twitter beef stuff?
I've seen Joe Rogan
little bits.
roasting the guy.
So,
really
well, not exactly. So he had Rogan had RFK Jr. on his show. The guy's got a terrible voice. He is a Democratic candidate for the presidency.
Unlistenable voice.
And I've done a little research. He's a bit of a whack job. He's also, interestingly enough, married to the actress who plays Cheryl on Curb Your Enthusiasm, who is like Larry David's wife, the blonde character.
Is she hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry David's wife.
Yeah. And they got to talking about vaccines and all this other stuff. And he's like blowing Rogan's mind when Rogan's like, we got to tell the people about this. You know, he gets into that mode. And then they're on Twitter, like calling out this virologist. They're like, and Rogan's like, $100,000. You need to come on my show.
The virologist started it.
Someone did. Like there's this $100,000 throwdown for.
Yeah, I did see the virologist.
And the virologist is like $100,000 is way too little. You know, I think he said maybe like 50 million or something like that. And then everybody got mad because remember the guy who caught Eat That Pussy, EDP, being a pedophile, and literally that guy also showed up at the virologist's house. And
that was the guy who showed up at his house?
The same guy?
Yes.
Okay.
That guy shows up and he's like, hey, you got beef with Rogan or whatever he said. He was actually very polite about the whole thing. Everybody made it seem like they stalked him down. It's like, I don't know. I've seen the nightly news do this a million times. Show up at somebody's yard. Yeah. What do you think about the sewing committee?
I saw you liked a Facebook page about Trump. And it's like, I'm a 52-year-old woman living in a trailer park. It's like,
but it's pretty interesting. And I had to find out, like, who is this RFK guy? Like, what does he believe? Who's your daddy and what does he do? And I went down this little rabbit hole on him, and I don't want to call someone an AIDS denier sounds hilarious, but that's what he is. He is iffy on the connection between HIV and AIDS. Like, I don't know what he thinks it comes from. And he's one of those people. I think he was saying something. He wasn't saying the water was making the frogs gay, but I think he literally said that there was some water somewhere making children trans. Like something so close to that it's not splitting hairs to say literally that.
He said that 5G gives you brain cancer.
Yes.
My mom said that.
It disrupts the blood-brain barrier.
Yes.
And Joe's like, Wi-Fi. He said this about Wi-Fi. He's probably got 5G beef too. But he was like, Joe, Wi-Fi. You don't even know, Joe. Everything in my house is wired, Joe. I plug right in. It breaks down the blood-brain barrier, Joe, and it lets that cancer get into your brain. And Joe's like, how does it break down the blood-brain barrier? And he goes, well, now you're just out of my expertise, Joe. I'm sorry. I don't have any.
Is that really what he said?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I followed it barrier. And Joe's like, that's interesting. How's it happen? And he's like, I don't know. Actually, I'm lying right now. I don't know.
That's the problem. So, like, if you don't know what you're talking about, like I don't, and like Joe Rogan doesn't, it's easy to get baffled by this guy who's done some research, who's quoting other quacks, stuff like that.
Famous guy.
But
he's a historical figure.
Really?
Yeah. He was there at the inauguration for JFK. Like he was 6. Like this guy was there throughout major moments of history. Yeah. Like moments of history that are in movies that like he was there. And it's like, yeah, that's my dad and my uncle. Those are the guys in that Forrest Gump movie you like.
How on earth did you watch anything about that guy? I watched part of one clip on Twitter. And I got maybe 40 seconds into when he's like,
Kyle, if he talked like that, it would be, I could deal with it.
Wouldn't it?
It's not just his froggy voice. It's the fact that he is 80% filler words. Everything is, but it's all this gargly, like, and it's like, bro, spit it out. You're running for president of the United States. You need to be a professional communicator. You're going from podcast to talk show on the news. You're doing interviews with breaking points, and you can't express yourself without filler words yet. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. And even the thing I learned about commentary, like, several years ago, is like, try to get the uhs and the, the knows out, like don't do that.
Yeah. It takes 2.5 months to get that sorted out. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Fetterman
I was baffled by
better.
the voice. The voice. I wonder
so
if it's a
annoying.
disease that he had.
Probably a
like
vocal cord surgery. Maybe.
emphysema. What the fuck?
So
Because
there's a
I
medical
would love
condition with the voice, but it doesn't explain why he can't speak without filler words.
Eloquently, yeah.
I think that like his voice just does not work. Like I think he's like having to use more breaks because his voice always sounds like it's gonna like gurgle over or like turn over. Like
Terrible.
it's like he has to like tamp it down with filler words to keep from like vomiting. He sounds like he's about to vomit the whole time he's
spasmodic,
talking.
something.
There's reporting that Steve Bannon convinced him to run. And he speaks at all these Republican conferences, and he pals around with Roger Stone. And
he's a false flag Democrat. This is great.
People say that. I don't know. I mean, I just read on the internet. What the fuck do I know? But
Trump's winning again. Look,
as this
what people don't understand is there's this
candidate.
big organization. Like when Roe versus Wade got overturned, that wasn't just, oh, look, this kind of happened. They'd been working on that for years, coordinating. There was a big party in a room full of people like, we did it. We did it. That was us. Those same people are trying to get Trump back in there. They're sending in the false flag Kennedy. This is great. This is great. Now it can work.
I think if they ever do a lockdown, like a traditional lockdown again, people are just gonna be like, no, I don't think so.
That's what it was like in Missouri for most of the time.
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah.
I remember the last lockdown. It was like, I've been locking down for 4 weeks already, to be honest with you.
You were getting practice in.
Yeah, I had discovered Tarkov, and I pre-gamed the lockdown.
I was back on the Rogan thing. Like it made me think because if I were like the expert on something and I got invited to come argue with someone that I was confident arguing against on Joe Rogan, I would do that. And it got me thinking, like, what little thing would I be supremely confident debating against anyone? And it is so pedantic, but I would be ready and confident to debate anyone on the topic of fighting in hockey. Anyone who's of the opinion that fighting has to be removed from the sport, I can thrash them in a debate. Dominate. If Joe Rogan invited me and he said, "Hey, we've got ones of people. It's you asking for this topic. Come on the show." I'd be like, "Yes, absolutely. You don't have to donate to charity because I'm gonna butt fuck this idiot."
I would find an old enforcer who has CTE and can barely speak, and you would have to debate him.
Yeah, look at this idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, Mom. I'm like, today, Junior, today.
He's crying in the middle of it.
Oh, wait.
Taylor, he can't.
Just
he can't control his tear
everyone
ducts.
takes the other side because I'm so unlikable. I didn't have an opinion, but this guy's a prick.
You could do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would debate that on. I was thinking like a pro and
somebody, yes, maybe somebody that doesn't like it. You can be like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. Just like a subjective debate.
Well,
you're wrong. It's good.
With a superior trilogy.
I could
saw
do
they
that.
sold the right.
So, what would you guys? What would each of your topic be that you would be confident going on Rogan in a debate? It can be as pedantic as my stupid hockey fighting thing. It doesn't have to be like fucking abortion or some shit.
I would. Either
I think yours is obvious.
Mine's obvious. I would do boxing and like pro boxing and just discussing, I guess, who the best fighter is or like techniques or something. Or Call of Duty,
Not skill-based matchmaking?
There's more to Call of Duty than that, but yeah, like I do that too. Yeah. It's just bad in Call of Duty. I don't actually mind.
You versus Hutch on Joe Rogan.
We already did it, and I think it would put the viewers to sleep. Truthfully, it would be a bomb.
Well, I have confidence you could win those debates.
Yeah.
And for Kyle, I'm trying to think something.
I know a tremendous amount about working out. How to make that happen. Yeah. I just consume.
You want to lift it
hundreds
up.
of hours.
Don't push it down. That's too easy.
Yeah. I could do that because I don't think it's as I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at simplifying that thing down to just a few things. Or steroids. I'm a big fan of steroids in all sports. I could probably argue that point.
Less money.
That's why the pandemic was cool. I was saying this yesterday. I did not mind the pandemic in the slightest. I enjoyed, like, I had my sleep schedule flipped around, so I'd go out and work out at 2-3 a.m. It'd be so dead when I drove through town. I would go to the grocery store at as soon as the sun came up, like as soon as they were open, because I'd be up, I'd roll right into there. Don't even need a mask. No one's here but the cashier and the greeter or whatever. Like you could, there'd be 3 people in a big grocery store. It was so nice. Everybody was staying home. Kids were getting dumber. It was perfect. And like online dating was wild because everybody's sitting at home horny. It was great.
It's weird to me because man, I get out of the house, but you know, like on my own terms and like alone. So this shouldn't have bothered me. But man, the fucking lockdowns. It's like it's more like the option. I don't have the option, and I feel like I'm in a cage, and I kind of go loopy. You know what I mean? Like I can't. They closed down hiking trails near me, which I thought was fucking weird.
Yeah,
that's
that
does suck. That feels like it's already isolation.
Yeah, it is. And then like I don't know, it was something I did not like, and I would not like.
Dude, you can't hike. You're gonna kill grandma.
Yeah.
Can't hike. What are you selfish? Trying to hike? What are you? Sick until proven healthy, my friend. Get your ass off of that dangerous trail. You're gonna sneeze on a squirrel and cause a problem.
Did you get the vaccine, Blame Truth?
No, actually, I did not.
That's right. Yeah, you're one of those guys. Taylor is too.
I just figured, you know, I don't interact with people. I don't interact with enough people to warrant it. I feel like it's just.
No, I don't.
I never got it. I never got COVID. So
I've never gotten COVID either.
Me too.
I did get the shot because I'm just around so many immune deprived people.
Yeah.
And you know, if it kills me, then it kills me. It'd be all right. But I was never afraid of the virus after they like started explaining what it did and stuff. I don't know. Every now and then, and it almost feels like they're making it up. They'd be like, "Oh, but some people get brain damage forever. Oh, some people never breathe again. Oh, and you hear sometimes
that is true. Some people did never breathe again.
Well, I mean, like the same again. Like some people are just have like 5% nerf on their character for life.
There's a big fear mongering thing in the news in general. I think because if you not just with that, but like even with the weather, I can't tell you how many times it's like there's a hurricane on the coast, and I'm
you're there.
I'm far west. I'm far west
yeah.
in sea, so I'm like, there's nothing ever fucking happens, you know. But you'll see people freaking the fuck out at like grocery
and it's bullshit too, because when it does come, you've got that classic boy who cried wolf thing going on. They're like, yeah, that's what you said last year, and they're like, no, for real, this is Hurricane Demonica. It's
Hurricane Buttfuck is coming up the coast.
An oil tanker halfway to your house. It's on fire and spinning.
I'd forgotten a hurricane was coming through one day. I'm out walking my dog, and there's like a breeze, a little bit of drizzle, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, this is that fucking hurricane people were freaking out about. I'm out walking my dog. I could grill in it, you know.